Non-obvious relationship awareness. System Research and Development. SRD was founded by Jeff Jones. It was founded as a data mining company that was able to make its name by using and developing the program of NOAA, which is the Non-Obvious Relationship Awareness Program. This program first started out as a security system for the casinos to be able to use that allowed for any type of information and data to be developed and correlated into a alert system, allowing the casinos to get more information about the people that were working for them and more information about the people that were coming into them. By doing this, this allowed them the ability to look at any type of correlations that would not be obvious, like sign language or emotions or anything like that would do like counting cards or the table and being able to purposely cost the casino money. Doing this allowed the company to be able to look at non-obvious things developed into the system. Non-obvious relationship awareness program notices the relationships that would normally not be seen. It is able to collect large amounts of personal data from companies to be able to be used. Using the real-time intelligence, it makes alerts to the company, allowing them to be able to focus more on stuff that they would not normally be able to see. It's worked around using normal behaviors and normal data. Doesn't always work whenever you use security cameras, watching for count carding, having people in place to watch the people who are in the casino or watch people who are in the organization. Whenever doing this, though, the data is allowed to be able to use to show what is not obvious, like the correlations of information that somebody once had with somebody else. The advantages of this program is using all of the information to make identities between things that most people do not think about. An example would be in a shared address or a shared phone number between two people. The way that is used in the casino is whenever you have the card dealer, they will look at the information of somebody who sits down at his table to be able to say if there's any kind of correlations between those two at all. Whether or not they share an address, whether or not they've shared messages between phones, or they shared phone calls in the past, or anything like that. It generates an intelligence alert in real time, allowing the casino and the people to be able to look at that and be able to stop any type of potential frauds or theft that would come across it. Keeping this information on file is something that this program also does. It also ensures that by keeping it backed up, that nothing like this happens down the road. It keeps the information continuously rotating throughout the program, allowing people the process to be able to understand that there's going to be no acceptable way to be able to fix this issue without having to use this type of advantage system. This program works by verifying all the information from government international databases. They use the international databases of what somebody's address once was, no matter where they were at in the United States or internationally. It enhances this data to make sure that all available data is being used. Using pre-existing information from personal histories, whether that were involved around work, cross-referencing it between sources that are important to this type of information. It collects data at a fast rate, allowing the alerts to be done within a matter of seconds. It uses the ability to data entitle to determine new or existing data. In doing so, this allows the companies to be able to look at data from anything such as personal addresses, personal phone numbers, emails, work history, any type of correlations that could possibly have been used to be able to cheat out the system. Other type of information that this program is able to use comes from human resource systems that are entered. It allows you to look at any type of write-ups or firing that has happened throughout things. It allows them to look at arrest records, incident records, and anything in that line of work, allowing them to come up with what they call the bad guy list of criminal acts and the bad guy list of people who you think would be somebody who you might want to keep an eye on, allowing them to look at if that one bad person associating with somebody who's considered a good person creates a little bit of an issue where they got to start thinking there's got to be a correlation on the reason why that is happening. It also allows them to look at work history and reasons why somebody was fired. It makes sure that somebody who was currently fired from another casino within a branch is not coming into a casino to try to cheat the system using a friend that they know to get back in another casino. Once all the information is being processed into the new data collection, it looks for the relationships involved. It looks for any type of criminal correlations between the people. It looks for any type of alerting notifications that are going to be used that would match the addresses, such as being within the same state, being within the same town, or being at the same address. Most of the time they look for stuff like with people owing money to a certain organization, What they will do, since they owe money, they will try to win it at places like casinos. That is what Jeff Jones developed this program behind, was to ensure that there'd be no way around this. He was looking for non-obvious relationships between systems like that. It looks to correlate somebody's work history. One example would be that whenever the first program was being used, it allowed the casino at the time to be able to look at somebody who was coming in who had a large amount of debt due to the fact of a misdiagnosed issue that had happened at a previous employer, along with gambling, allowing the one guy to come into the casino, to come to a table that he had known the person who was dealing, and worked around the dealer to allow the dealer to miscommunicate the cards, allowing them to win the game after a few bad hands, come up with one good hand, putting all their money in it, and would get a large bank increase, allowing them to make back the money that was needed. Due to this aspect, this company has actually been able to use this program of the non-obvious relationship awareness to collect all of this data, to keep all of this stuff in one program, allowing for the perceptual analytics to be used, keeping it so that the company is able to understand this type of data at a real-time rate. Places that are able to use the non-obvious relationship awareness program would include retail organizations. Retailers will be able to use this to help and find shoplifters. They take the correlation of data from previous thefts and the ideas of how those thefts were able to be completed to be able to map out a plan to prevent people from coming in. One example of that would be is that recently there have been large groups of people that have been doing credit card fraud, where they are getting the credit card information from somebody when they're shopping, getting behind them in line, stealing their credit card information while they're behind them in the line, going out to a van, and in this van they have the ability to micro make little bitty cards that they can use as credit cards. The magnetic chips on the back of it do not work, and if it's a chip reader, it does not work as well. But what is happening is it is cheating the system due to the fact that they are able to swipe the card 3 or 4 times. Then it automatically requires you to input the PIN. Whenever they ask you to input the PIN, that is how they're getting away with it, trying to get it cleared as a credit, creating credit card fraud. Criminal investigation units also use this. Homeland Security, the FBI, and the CIA all use this type of program to be able to keep up a large amounts of personal data to be able to ensure that non-terrorist attacks happen. This was a big push after the 9/11 incident happened. This was also a big push after the Benghazi issue came around. The main source that is being used, though, is in casinos, identifying suspicious activities, finding and creating gaming fraud, and looking for connections between those involved coming into the casino and those working for the casino. The biggest concerns that come out of this for Christian leaders would be the fact is that this type of programming actually invades the privacy that somebody has. This still allows for all personal data to be found on everyone, including private citizens. Because the aspect is, even people who work in Congress, people who are considered private citizens and government officials, their data is still being collected and used in this program. The other issues that come up involved around this thing is it does revolve around using the ability of technology. Sometimes technology can be corrupt, sometimes it creates data that may not be very accurate. One example would be is if a hacker decides to go into a system, crash the system, and then turn around and put false data in place while the system is down, when the system reboots itself, it creates a corrupt data aspect on the idea that the hacker was able to put information in the system that was not there previously that could be wrong. In doing this, it creates a little bit of an issue where Christian leaders have to think about ethical or moral reasoning behind using a program like this, on whether or not you want to give up your ethical rights and your moral rights by invading people's privacy and keeping their information from them and keeping their information collected in one area to be able to use for false gain later on down the road.